and this is the final lesson of our whole unit. And we are really going to be synthesizing all of our learning. We're going to be writing expressions based on tape diagrams. We're going to be looking at dividing unit fractions by whole numbers by unit fractions, and what that really means and looks like. Terrific job yesterday on your Google Classroom assignments. I really love the way that you're working through those questions on the slides, and we'll be doing a little bit more of that today. I'll run you through that here in a second. But let's make it a great day, and let's get going into lesson 28, the final lesson of the unit. And we're going to look at these 4 expressions, and we're going to think about what do they have in common and what is different about them. So what I immediately notice is that here and here we are dividing whole numbers by unit fractions, and then here and here we're dividing fractions by whole numbers, unit fractions by whole numbers. So let's model each of these, and then I want you to really look at like what is different and what is the same about these. So here in A, we're looking at 2 divided by 1/3. So first we're going to show 2. I think you all hopefully feel really comfortable with that. 2, great. Really what we're asking is how many 1/3 fit inside of 2? So in order to show that, we're going to have to chop each of our wholes into thirds. So I have 1/3 and 1/3 and 1/3. This is 1. You all know that there's 1, 2, 3/3 that fit inside of 1. But we're not asking 1 divided by 1/3. We're looking at 2 divided by 1/3. So let's go ahead and continue dividing this side into 1/3. And here we'll be able to see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 1/3 that fit inside of 2. Let's keep going. I'm just going to change my color. Let's keep going and look at B. Here we're dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. When we are showing a unit fraction being divided by a whole number, keep in mind these are not proportional, we have to start with 1 whole. We're not going to just start with 1/3 because then we'll never be able to know what our denominator is. So we're going to start with 1 whole. And we're looking at ultimately 1/3 divided by 4. So let's go ahead and isolate 1/3. Okay, so we have 1/3 here, and how are we dividing that? Well, we're dividing 1/3 into 4 equal pieces. So let's go ahead and divide that into 4 equal pieces. Beautiful. We want to know what is 1/3 divided by 4. We're looking at 1/3 divided into 4 equal pieces, but I don't know what my denominator is yet. So we have to make sure that we divide all of our thirds into 4 equal pieces. If we do not divide all of our thirds into 4 equal pieces, we will not know what our denominator is. We will not know how many cuts we have here in our whole model. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When we're looking at dividing a unit fraction by a whole number, what we're really interested in is 1 slice. 1/3 divided into 4 equal pieces is always, the numerator is always going to be 1 when we're dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. And here our denominator is 12. So 1/3 divided by 4 is going to be 1/12. Let's go ahead and look at C. C, we are, let's make it a little bit darker, dividing another unit fraction by a whole number. So when we're dividing a unit fraction by a whole number, we're going to start with 1 whole. So this whole rectangle is 1 whole, and now we're going to chop this into 4ths, because what we're really interested in is isolating our 1/4. Beautiful. So I think everyone's really comfortable with understanding that this is 1/4. Now we need to divide 1/4 into 3 equal pieces. So let's do that. I'm interested in what is 1 slice here, but I don't know what the denominator is because I haven't chopped the rest of my rectangle into bits. So let's continue dividing each of our 1/4 into 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then I have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So now we are interested in the shaded piece. We're looking at 1/4 divided into 3 equal bits. It's going to be 1 out of what? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12. Finally, let's look at D, where we're going back. That's a terrible orange. We're going back to dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. So let's go ahead and divide 3 by 1/5. So we have 3 here. And how are we dividing 3? We're dividing 3 into fifths. So 1. Oops, sorry, Mrs. C goofed up. We have 3 here. We have to show our holes inside of 3. How many holes do we have inside of 3? Well, we have 1, 2, 3 holes. And then within inside of each of our holes, we have to divide those into fifths because we're dividing 3 by 1/5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, when we're dividing 3 by 1/5, what we're asking ourselves is, how many 1/5 did we fit inside of 3? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15. Interesting. So let's go ahead and look at the pattern that we see here. 2 divided by 1/3 is 6. 3 divided by 1/5 is 15. Did anyone else notice that 3 times 2 is 6? Did anyone else notice that 5 times 3 is 15? Here's why that works. What we did here is we made 3 copies of 2 holes when we were modeling. Here in our 3, what we did was we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We made 5 copies of 3. I'm thinking that a lot of you have already noticed this. 1/3 divided by 4 is 1/12. 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12. What we did here in B is we found 4 copies, 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of 3 because we were starting with thirds. And then here what we did was we found 3 copies, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, we found 4 copies of 3. So I hope at this point a lot of you are starting to see the patterns that are occurring. I'm not even going to talk about the standard algorithm, although I know a lot of you already know it. I really need you to have a deep conceptual understanding of what is exactly happening here. And when we spend a lot of time modeling it, that is the result. You have a deep conceptual understanding. So I'm going to take you through a little cruise on your work for today, your independent work, and then you can get going. Have fun. To Google Classroom this morning, you will find our slides, which I actually haven't posted yet, but I will. Slides look pretty typical. You're going to click on today, which is Wednesday, and then you'll see our to-do list. You're watching the video right now, fabulous. And then you're going to check your Google Classroom for today's assignment, and then you're also going to do lesson 27 exit tickets. So I just wanted to show you our assignment for today. I posted that last night, and everyone has received a copy. So this is your lesson 28 independent practice. You'll notice that I've color coded this now. So we have pink problems, orange problems, yellow problems, and green problems. On the first slide, you will find the question. On the second side, you are going to type your answer in the box. This is the box. And then the same with the orange. The first slide, the first colored slide is the problem, and then the second slide is the answer box. So I want you to go through and work through these problems, please, and then turn them in, and I'll give you feedback, and then we can kind of go from there. Have a wonderful time today. Enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon.